Hi guys, so welcome back. Today we have an interesting topic. As you can see the name, reality does do the bending. You just need to stay still. Reality does the bending. Okay? And basically all I'm trying to say is that life moves for you, life moves to you. You do not need to move. If you move, you interrupt the route that life was trying to take. And life is always going to take the easiest route. It knows better than you do. So, the main point of this video is discussing like a theory that I have. And the theory is that humans, if not similar, are black holes. Like humans operate similarly to black holes. I believe humans are black holes in some sense. And if we know anything about black holes, we know that black holes are stars that ran out of fuel. So black holes are fallen stars. I think humans are the same thing. And I have some drawings that I can show you all on why I believe it to be true. And honestly, I'm not the type of person to say hard facts. It's just a theory, and I want to hear what people have to say, but I do feel like it's very coherent and it makes sense. So I would love to share it with y'all and see what you think. And I'm not the type of person to stay stuck to one idea. Like, I've had this for a while and I've been refining it and refining it and refining it until I actually felt like, okay, I can share this. So I'm ready to share and we're gonna get straight into it. So I drew a few pictures so that I can have visuals and show you all visuals because I do good with visuals and I'm assuming everybody else does good with visuals. So the first visual we have is a black hole, and I'm going to explain a little bit about a black hole so that you all can understand, but we're going to go more in depth about black holes and how they relate to humans and bring it all together. But before we do that, I need to introduce you all. If you don't know, about a black hole, I'm going to let you know, okay? So right here we have a black hole, and this is the whole structure of it. Most people see a black hole or think about a black hole and they think about this middle piece. And that's just a piece of it. It's called a singularity. It's the single point where everything is compressed and very dense. So technically, yeah, and these other things are the accessories. So the singularity is what people refer to as a black hole. So there are some important key pieces. If a black hole, anything that gets near a black hole gets sucked in, is gone forever. When you pass this event horizon and this event horizon, whatever way you're going, if you're going this way, if you're going this way, you're sucked into the black hole, you're there, right? But there are some other more key important parts, and they're important because of what I'll explain later. So just keep in mind, we have the event horizon, which I talked about, the singularity. This yellow highlighted piece around the singularity is a accretion disk, and it's basically a disk full of plasma, hot gases that circulates around the black hole. And we also have the relativistic jets, and these jets are plasma as well. And plasma is just technically, I assume, it's free energy, it's free electrons and everything of that sort. So this is the structure of a black hole. And as you see, we have the relativistic jet line, but we also have this whirlpool kind of shape as you get closer to the black hole. And this is where space-time bending comes in, because when something is so dense, space-time bends around it. Keep that in mind. Again, you don't do the bending. But when something is very dense, it pulls, like things are coming towards it. So it literally pulls the fabric of space-time. So as you can see, the plasma whirlpool gets tighter as you get closer to the singularity, right? So as it gets tighter, it gets more compressed, and as you get closer past that event horizon, you're done, right? And those are the most key important parts of the black hole. So we're gonna put that down. And you know, the whole point of this video was about you not doing the bending, so we're gonna introduce a little bit about you. Um, right here we have the human. Not too much on my drawing, not too much. So we have the human, and this human is literally happy. Look at him smiling, and his heart is big, and this human is emitting, the human heart is emitting a field. If you know anything, our heart emits a field outside of us. I think about 6 feet or maybe bigger than that, I'm not sure. But the heart does emit a field, and usually when your mind and your body are aligned, that field is coherent, it's clear. But most humans have an aura. That's what people call aura, the magnetic field. The human emits a field. And above your heart is your mind, and below your heart is your body. And it kind of looks like this. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And the last shape I want to show you all, I used this picture for a video that I made like a few videos back, just basically talking about the cycle of life. And I just want to show you all, it's a torus, T-O-R-U-S. And that shape, that donut shape, is literally prevalent in every form of life. It's just an epitome of compression, expansion, compression, expansion. So at the innermost center of the torus, you have compression, complete compression. You have that singularity. And as you move away from the singularity, whatever end you move, you have more expansion. You have more expansion. Just how I showed you for the black hole. When you move away from the black hole, you have expansion. You have access to more space. You know, you may have the same amount of information, but when you get closer to the black hole, it compresses, and that compression drags it into the black hole. So the torus shape is very important. It's just like compression and expansion, compression and expansion, and that's the cycle of life, compression and expansion. And reality bends to you when reality compresses around you. Like, you are a gravity well. Like, if you know anything about a gravity well, anything that gets near a gravity well gets sucked in. Like, you have a pool. You have a pool. You have a natural pool. You're so dense. Humans are literally carrying so much information, so much mass in a little small space, our human body, and it creates that gravity pull. That's what a black hole is. It's a smaller space that is super dense. That is super dense, right? That's all it is. And it attracts, and it's so dense that anything that it goes around bends around it. It bends towards it. It's like it's magnetic, basically. And we're gonna get more into specifics, but before that, I want to show you all something, and it's very important for this, because when you understand this, you'll understand the concept of where I'm going, and you'll understand more of how you play a role in this, and how humans relate to black holes in a sense. And when you understand this, you'll understand how to operate. So here we have a comparison, right? We have a comparison. So on this side, we have prograde black holes, and you have retrograde black holes, and they're both Kerr black holes, K-E-R. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about them, and simply, it's literally just kind of similar to this image, right? It's similar to the first thing, but the operations are different, and the operation being different literally makes a huge difference in what happens to the black hole. So we're gonna start, let's fold this up so it makes, you don't get confused. So we're gonna start with the prograde, right? You have the prograde black hole. And with the prograde black hole, it looks similar to the one that I showed you all. Just imagine a spiral here. So you have the singularity, you have the accretion disk. And the key important part here is that you see the singularity is going this way and the accretion disk is going the same way. So both are going counterclockwise. They're coherent. They're coherent, right? So when the accretion disk and the singularity are spinning in the same way, you create coherence. It's not friction. And when that happens, you become dense. So one key example I want to mention is like, you know how when they say be present, be present, be present, live in the present? That is so important. And I also made a video about this previously, but presence is just alignment. Presence is the alignment of your mind and your body. When you align your mind and your body, your field becomes clear, it becomes more coherent, and you become denser. When your mind and your body align, you're actually sitting at your core. Your mind is not in the past and your body in the present. Your mind is with your body. And those two things together create denseness. Like it creates you being here in your body, right? And when that happens, you're able to emit a big magnetic field that attracts more. And also, when you're present, you have the opportunity to make change. In the present moment, you can make change. When you're not present, when you're in the past, you're literally not really able to influence your life because you're in the past. And you're probably asking, you can be in the past? Yes. I believe that we time travel in the form of our mind. Like your mind can be in the past and your body can be in the present, but your mind can also be in the future and your body be in the present. That creates tension. Anything that's not aligned creates tension. Like your mind is pulling you to the past while you're sitting in the present. You're probably worrying about something that happened years ago. Like you're inflicting tension when you don't have to, right? And also if you're worrying about something that's going to happen in 2 weeks, you're creating tension. So the importance of this prograde black hole is they're both spinning together. It's coherent. It creates coherence. There's no friction. They're both aligned. Alignment is the most important thing. And because of that alignment, because of them both being aligned at this very dense point, space-time bends to this dense point. When it's dense, think about it, it's a gravity well. Things are going to be attracted to it. So this plasma is attracted to the black hole. And as you see this whirlpool, right? When you have when you're trying to fit something big into a small space, like you have to compress it. So because this is super dense and time and space-time is bending toward the singularity, the space is going to get small. So this plasma compresses itself down to smaller cycles so that it can get closer to the singularity. And again, you have your event horizon here and your event horizon there. But what happens is this spiral compresses itself all the way down. And right here I have ISCO, and that literally stands for the innermost stable cyclical orbit. So basically the innermost stable cycle that this free energy is on. And remember I said the event horizon is the place of no return. So when you are aligned, space-time bends to you, and basically all of this energy gets to your core. So you have access to more energy. You have access to more energy because once it passes this ISCO, it plunges. It's no more stable orbit. When there's an orbit, it has something that can keep going around. It can keep orbiting in a cycle. The energy can keep cycling. But once it passes this ISCO, and because this ISCO is so close to the event horizon, give me that. It's yours. Once it passes and drops off of this orbit, it plunges to the singularity. It's already so close, right? It's so close, and the singularity is very dense. And like I said, it's a gravity well. So it's already pulling, but as soon as it falls off of that orbit, that energy is yours. The energy is yours just because you're aligned. And when you're aligned, you're dense. So that alignment causes density, which causes this to coil up because space-time shrunk. And because space-time shrunk, the coil got small and it got closer to your event horizon. It got closer to the point of no return. And once it passes that event horizon, it's yours. So when you're aligned, you have access to more energy, and it plunges. As soon as it plunges and it passes the event horizon, it's you. You see this little red piece? It's not a lot of space. That plunge is small. So all it takes is it to fall off the orbit a little bit, and it's yours, right? It's yours. That is a prograde black hole, a prograde curved black hole. That's what happens. When your innermost stable cyclical orbit is close to your event horizon, you're obviously aligned, and your space-time is bending for you. You don't have to bend. Space-time is like, let me give them more energy. They're aligned. Let me bend towards this black hole. It's dense. I need it in this energy. Energy is everything. Energy is opportunity. Energy is but any timeline you can think of. Your highest timeline sits in that energy. Every possible outcome sits in that energy. That's just how the universe and how life works. So when you're aligned, space-time bends, and when space-time bends, it brings everything with it and gives you access to the energy. But you have to be aligned. Your singularity has to be spinning in the same direction as your accretion disk, right? When that happens, your innermost stable orbit gets closer to your event horizon. So as soon as it hits that last layer, that plunge is very small. It don't got far to fall before it fall past the point of no return, and it's yours. That's a prograde black hole, and that's the black hole you want to be like, right? Just keep that in mind. Think about it. Let's kind of talk about it in terms of human. Again, we have the same kind of shape, the torus shape or whatever. When your mind and your body are aligned, your heart emits a denser magnetic field. It's a gravity well. It becomes more coherent, more readable. It becomes more dense. You know, things become attracted to you because you're aligned. That means basically, like we said, your mind and your body are spinning in the same way. It's coherent. It's coherent. So it's attractive. Anything that's coherent in this universe is attractive. So when your mind and body are spinning the same way, just how the prograde black hole is, your field becomes denser. And when your field becomes denser, energy comes. Like, possibilities come to you. They shrink in, they get pulled in, right? They get pulled into you. When you're dense, you're attracting. But to be dense, you need to be aligned. So mind and body need to be aligned for your magnetic field to be coherent and to be attractive and to pull shit in. Same way a prograde black hole is. Like, it's the same thing. You get what I'm saying? You pick up what I'm putting down. You see the similarities. Now, what we're going to talk about next is this retrograde black hole, right? Oh, one thing I didn't mention. When you are spinning the same way in event your singularity and your accretion disk are spinning the same way, it puts so much pressure and so much density on the singularity. Like I said, you become so dense that, you remember I talked about the relativistic jets? To me, that's literally access to all information, just everything, all energy. So when you're aligned, you have that access to all the energy. You have access, like, to this whole timeline, to all timelines. That's what that line represents. You have access to all timelines, all information. Think about it. When you're present, you kind of have access to the past and the future. When you're in the past, you only have access to the past. It's like the 0 point. At the 0 point, you can see both extremes. When you're not in the 0 point, you're consumed with one thing. So being at the 0 point, being at the singularity, being present, It's the same thing expressed multiple different ways. When you're present, you have access. Time bends for you. You don't do the bending, time does the bending. Time is attracted to you when you were coherent. When you clear and you align, time like energy is attracted to you. Everything is attracted to you. Matter of fact, now let's look at the retrograde. Same kind of concept, but the key difference, as you can see, this singularity is spinning counterclockwise, accretion disk spinning clockwise. What does that create, guys? That creates, we're going to draw it out. You have push and pull. You have push and pull. You have friction. Nothing likes friction. Nothing likes friction. You're unaligned. It's not a good read. It's inconsistent. And because it's friction and it's inconsistent, the density is not centralized. So the information is not being coiled up because space-time is not even one to bend around this. It's not trying to do the bending. It's not attractive. This is not attractive. Space-time don't want to bend towards nothing that's not attractive. So it's so much space that information is scattered. It's not getting centralized to the singularity, right? So your innermost stable orbit is up there, right? And you have this much space to plunge. It's not even gonna plunge. And if it does plunge, it's not gonna get close to the singularity and have a pull because you have so much open space. You have so much open space. But when you're dense and space-time bends around you and there's barely any space, so that the plunge is small and everything is just almost automatically yours, there's a difference. There's a difference. When reality bends for you, you're doing something great. You're doing something great. But for reality to bend for you, you have to be aligned. It wants something that's attractive. It's not about to do the bending on something that's not attractive, right? To be attractive to reality, you have to be aligned. You have to be aligned. And it don't just go for us. As you can see, it goes for everything else. So back to this retrograde, because there's friction and misalignment, like information is scattered. It's not compressed. It don't even feel urgency to get close to a black hole, right? It's just free, like everywhere. But that bending creates that compression, which funnels it down to the black hole when you're prograde. That alignment creates that compression and it creates that beautiful whirlpool. It brings your innermost stable orbit down closer to your event horizon so that energy can just fall. It don't even gotta fall far. As soon as it get off that orbit, it's yours. But on this retrograde one, it's all the way up here. Energy probably just gonna come out of that orbit and sit around here. It ain't even gonna go nowhere. It's not gonna plunge. It doesn't have that pressure. Like it's really not moving. So if you're unaligned, if you have friction, if your mind is back here and your body's here, you're misaligned. You can't really create movement. Movement is created from the present moment, and that is kind of similar. If you have, like I said, like it's similar systems. Humans, again, are very dense. We carry access to so much information. Our imagination, being able to imagine so many things, the highest timeline, just being able to imagine infinite possibility gives us so much access to so much energy and so much information. And in a small space, our body is small and we carry so much, mind, body, spirit. We carry so much. So again, a small space that is super dense, it is a gravity well. A black hole, a human, both gravity wells. But you're not attractive, and space, time, and reality is not bending for you if you are not aligned. If you are not aligned, you're not that, it's not a pull. It's not being pulled towards you. And when things aren't pulled towards you, they're just stuck and they free. Think about it. Like you're not about to sit close to nobody on no bus. If it's a bunch of free space, you're gonna go sit where there's open space. You're not being compressed, right? So you don't do the bending, reality does the bending. But for reality to do the bending, you gotta be tight, you gotta be aligned. You gotta be aligned. Like, you have to be aligned, and that alignment causes reality to be attracted to you. It causes reality to bend for you. It causes possibilities. It causes anything you could ever want. It causes energy, and energy is everything, and you can form it into anything. It causes that energy to come through, and whatever you want to form that energy into is whatever you choose. But the important part is you have access to energy when you are in alignment, right? And that is important. I think humans are so similar to black holes, and there are other things that you can get into and that I've kind of figured out about this, but I want it to be simple so people can understand. And also, I spoke about this in my last video, but something that is also very important, and maybe I can make a video about it later, but if you think about geodesics are like the shortest path you can take from your current place. So, but on a curve, in a curved space. So if I showed you that humans have this aura, this magnetic field, it shows you that things are moving around us in a curved space. So we're so taught to think linearly, to think, oh, from point A to point B. You know what? I'm gonna show y'all something. We're taught to think from point A to point B, but in reality, like, that's the linear way. That's the linear way. But like I said, if we're operating in this curved space, in this torus-like space, and things move in cycles, what is the point of a linear path? Geodesics is the shortest possible path that 2 points can connect on in a curved surface. So it's more like this. You know, on a flat map, we draw straight lines from New York to Asia. That's a straight line. But if you were to curve the map, that straight line would be the longest route. Sometimes the longest route is curved, but because we think so linearly, like, things that aren't linear don't make sense. But life knows better than you, and sometimes a path that looks straight from our eyes is not the easiest path. Sometimes the path of least resistance will not make sense to you. When reality is bending to you, if it's bending to you, it's in a curved space. It's not going to take the linear route. You're so attractive that it's going to give you something you can't even imagine. It's not going to take the linear route. It's not going to take the route that you can imagine. It wants to surprise you. It wants to surprise you, right? Life is always going to take the geodesic route when you allow it, when you're not trying to move. When you're moving, reality just follows you. Reality loves you so much that it's going to follow everything you do. If you're unaligned, it's like, okay, they don't want nothing. I'm going to give them space. And it gives you space. It doesn't give you energy. Like, you probably, when you're unaligned, you're acting like this retrograde curved black hole. You're telling reality, I want space. I want space. I don't want free energy. I don't want the energy, right? But when you're aligned and you're tight and you have things, you're dense, you're all in your body, your mind and your body are aligned, you're spinning in the same way, you're telling reality, bring it on. Bring me everything you can give me, right? That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. So it's your choice. If you want to be aligned, if you want your mind and body to be aligned, you operate as a prograde black hole. If your mind and body aren't aligned, you're operating as a retrograde black hole. But it all starts with awareness. When you know what's going on, it gets easier for you, right? It gets easier. And we're not always going to be perfect, right? Some things cause misalignment, but the faster you can track your misaligned and try to get your mind and your body back together so that your heart can emit a field that's attractive, it'll be easier. And you know, people talk about manifestation, but all manifestation is everything that you can ever want is already, ooh, everything you could ever want is already sitting up here. It's already sitting up here in that free space. Everything you can want, everything you could want, all possibilities, everything, even things you don't want, everything is sitting there. But when you're aligned, you allow the things that are aligned to come to you. Reality bends, and it bends to you. It compresses, it gets tighter, so it funnels down to you. So if you're at a point where you're just like done, like things don't seem like they're working out, like you're not getting opportunities, you're not getting access to the life that you want to live, most of the time it's about your alignment. And sometimes alignment takes some clarity. Like you need to know where you are in regards to everything. You have to be true to yourself. You have to be honest. Sometimes we aren't so honest about what we want. Sometimes we really don't know. Sometimes we are conditioned, and that conditioning makes you believe in things that aren't really resonant with you. So you really got to figure out who you are. The more you figure out who you are at your core, the more aligned you become. The more your mind and your body, align with each other. The more you get rid of trauma as well, because trauma is stored in the body. You become aligned, because most of the times people are in the past is because they're attached. Their body is holding on to things that are from the past, and when something sparks that, like that loop, your mind can automatically jump back to what happened. So sometimes you need healing, you need deconditioning. It's basically about deconditioning and getting to who you are at the core. And when you can sit with who you are at the core more, and that aligns, you become dense, and life begins to bend for you because it wants to. It likes coherence. And yeah, that's really all I have today. I'm trying to be better with explanation. So if this was explained good, let me know in the comments. If I need to work on anything, let me know. And like I said, my ideas are gonna refine forever. Life is a continuous growth process. We're continually growing. We're continually getting closer to our core. We're always aligning more and more and more. And for me, you can never be perfect, but you can always move. You can always move. You can always move. And the more you move, the more clarity you get. And clarity is the thing that we all need. When you're clear, when things are clear, clearness is alignment. Like when you're clear, the world will be clear too. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully this made sense. It was super interesting to me. I wanted to share with y'all. And remember, reality does the bending, but the bending can only happen when you stay still and you're aligned and you're not here and there or there and here. You gotta be here and here. You gotta be here and here, okay? But that's it for today. I have more things coming. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.